Hey guys, it's me, the Zoe the Masked. Sorry I had to change my name from Discarded Angel to Zoe the Masked. I was kind of bored. Anyway, now it's time for me to read you another chapter of Killer, More Like Lover, Jeff the Killer love story. This chapter is chapter 2, and, yeah. Let's start the chapter. Molly's point of view. I slowly opened my eyes to an unknown place. I then remembered what happened, and quickly sat up. Not a good idea. I groaned in pain. My head felt like I was being stabbed over and over. I put my hands to my head, only to realize that they were chained to a wall behind me. I sighed and looked around. To my left were the contents of my bag. To my right was a wall. I slowly shuffled as close as I could to the pile of stuff that used to be in my bag. I glanced at the pile. My phone wasn't there. Great, I thought as I leaned against the wall. I heard a door slam open and then shut. I shuffled into the corner. Who walked in the room surprised me. White skin, black burnt hair, no eyelids, and a smile anyone could recognize. Jeff the Killer, I said under my breath, in shock. He grinned, his grin got wider and he came over to me. So, you heard of me, he said, while squatting down to me. I just stared at him and nodded, too afraid to talk. He reached inside his hoodie pocket and pulled out a kitchen knife covered in blood. He put the tip to my throat. Should I kill you now? He said, more to himself than to me, or torture you? He said, looking in my eyes. He laughed an insane laugh and stood up and walked out of the room. I sat there, confused, but decided not to question it. I had been sitting and staring at the windowless walls for at least 2 hours when I heard the door crack open and quietly shut. This isn't Jeff, I thought to myself as I began to glance around looking for anyone. I saw slight movement in the shadows and decided to speak up. I know you're there, I said quietly. I heard a sigh and someone stepped out of the shadows. Link? I thought to myself, studying the person. Then I remembered who it was. Ben drowned, I said with a smile. I know you must be thinking, why are you smiling at a serial killer? Well, Ben is my favorite creepypasta. He studied my expression. Don't tell me you're a fangirl, he said with a slight irritation in his voice. Nope, you're just awesome, I said, sitting up straight. He rolled his eyes at me. Would you think I was awesome if I killed you? He said with amusement in his voice. I shrugged. Are you going to torture me like Jeff is? I said with slight sadness. He gave me a confused look for a few seconds. Oh, you must be his prisoner, he said as if it just dawned on him that I was trapped here. I nodded. Well, I'm not gonna hurt you. I was just curious, he said, coming over and sitting next to me with his back against the wall. You seem cool, he said as he picked up my sketchbook. I tried to snatch it away from him, but my wrists being chained to a wall didn't help. He looked over at me, amusement dancing in his eyes as he opened the first page. Creepypastas written in big letters across the page. He flipped the next one, which was a picture of him. Wow, these are good, he said while going through them. After looking through my sketchbook, he placed it open to the last page of Jeff on the floor beside him. He talked for a good 30 minutes. When the door slammed open, I glanced at him wide-eyed. I knew who was coming, and it wasn't good. Jeff walked into the room and froze when he saw Ben sitting next to me. Ben, what the fuck are you doing? He screamed. and walked over to us. Ben stood up, and I just sat there, not sure what to do, when I was yanked to my feet by my hair. I glanced at Ben for help. He pushed Jeff. "Leave her alone," Ben said. Jeff pulled out his knife. I can do what I want to her," Jeff said, placing the knife to my stomach. Jeff pushed him sideways, causing the knife to cut open my stomach. I stared down in horror as the blood started to come out. I placed a hand over the cut and looked at Ben, who looked shocked, then at Jeff, who also looked shocked. I looked back down at my hand to find it covered in blood. My legs started to wobble, then I fell to the ground and passed out. Jeff's point of view. I stared at her in shock. I saw her bleeding. I have no idea why I had no idea what to do when she fell to the ground and passed out. I panicked. What do we do?" I said in a low voice as Ben stood there. I quickly dug in my pocket for the keys to her cuffs. I opened it and rushed over and undid them. I picked her up and listened. I picked her up in bridal style. "Open the door," I ordered Ben. He didn't say anything, but listened. I ran through the door and opened up the stairs and into the living room. "Where's Jack?" I said in a panicked voice. "Jack's in his room." "Why?" Maskey asked. I didn't stay to answer him. I ran up to Jack's room and threw the door open to see Jack sitting on his bed. His head shot up as I ran into the room. "Help her!" I screamed. He came over and took her from me and placed her on his bed, and got to work. When he saw me watching, he pushed me out of the room. Molly's point of view. I slowly blinked my eyes open. I tried to sit up, but instead I got immense pain coming from my stomach. Oh yeah, I was stabbed. I groaned and laid my head back down on the pillow. You should be able to move in a couple of days," an unknown voice said. I turned my head to where the sound came from and saw eyeless Jack. "Did you stitch me up?" I questioned. He nodded. I opened my mouth to say something else, but he cut me off. "No, I didn't steal your kidneys," he said bluntly. I gave a small chuckle when the door opened. I didn't bother to turn my head. Should I move her? Should I move her to the bedroom? I heard Jeff ask. "Yes, be careful," Jack said. I glanced at him with a look as I felt arms slip under my knees and my back. He gave a chuckle as I was carried out of the room. I glanced up at Jeff, who was staring down at me. I quickly glanced away. "It was an accident," he said as he walked 4 doors away from Jack's and opened a door that what I guessed was the spare bedroom. "Okay," I said quietly as he placed me into the already untucked sheets and turned to leave the room. "Thanks," I muttered quietly. He turned around and looked at me, then left the room. Well, there's nothing else to do. I decided to sleep. Jeff's point of view. I went to check on the girl to find her sleeping. I walked over and sat next to her on the bed. Why does she make me feel so weird? I thought as a strange feeling erupted in my stomach. I glanced over at her and got up. "What are you doing to me?" I muttered as I leaned down and kissed her forehead. Shocked by my own actions, I backed up and bumped into someone. I quickly turned around to see Ben running out the door. I quickly chased after him. Okay guys, comment, subscribe, and like if you liked this video. And sorry, I like stuttered a couple of times, and my voice changed whenever it was supposed to be to a character. My voice changed to the wrong character, like the sound of the voice to Jeff and then Ben. I kept like mixing the voices up. Sorry again. Hope you liked it, and bye. And bye. Bye. Sorry. And bye. See you later, and